Step into the life of marathon swimmer and founder of the Port to Pub open water swim event, Ceinwen Roberts. Ceinwen talks about how swimming was a key part of family life growing up and how in her first Rottnest Channel crossing she found the spark and challenge that would lead her to becoming only one of 83 people worldwide to have swum the Triple Crown of open water swimming. She also talks through her upcoming challenge to swim a 4-way crossing of the Rottnest Channel in March-April of this year. We then go into the story behind the beginnings of the Port to Pub event that crosses the Rottnest Channel and the scale of involvement to manage such an event. Ceinwen is a very grounded lady that gives off a magnetic 100% authentic energy. She is very clear that despite her achievements, she doesn't see herself as anything special, just someone who is willing to open up to possibility and explore just what she's capable of doing. She talks openly about the challenges of balancing her full life that include a family of 2 little girls, and also how swimming and the ocean is also a key tool for her to maintain solid mental health and stability among it all. For the listener, you will be given a very clear example of the scale of what can be achieved if you actively choose positivity and gratitude as the basis to approach everything that life presents. So enjoy Ceinwen. Hello and welcome back to WA Real. I'm your host, Bryn. Marathon swimming, event management, pushing boundaries and raising money for charities are just some of the things we will dive into today with my guest, Ceinwen Roberts. Ceinwen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, nice to be here.
So one of the questions I like to ask my guests right at the start is, because it's called WA Real, is how they came to be in WA. Now, you were born here.
Yes, born and bred in Kalamunda in the hills.
Yeah.
Yep.
So tell me, what was it like growing up here in Western Australia?
Oh, I don't think I realised how lucky I was growing up here, as I said, in Kalamunda. So we were far away from the ocean, but still lots of pools around Kalamunda, and my mum and dad are swimmers, so I was always around a pool, and had lots of holidays down in Yellingup and on Rottnest Island. So pretty much can't get a better place around the world, I reckon, to grow up.
Yeah. Have you lived anywhere else?
I've travelled a lot around the world, for 2 or 3 years. So I've lived for small stints at other places, and there's just nowhere like Perth. So
This
lucky
is
to
home.
have it. Totally. Yeah.
Super. So if we were to go through your swimming palmares, it's like enormous, with like countless trips to Rottnest, one way, English Channel, one Manhattan, second fastest crossing to Catalina, Where does swimming come into Ceinwen's story?
So as I said, it's kind of been ingrained with me since a little girl, hanging around the pools with mum and dad and around that really good community. They were with Maida Vale Aussie, and so I was always every weekend around them, and they were my family. They looked after me, the whole swimming club, and that kind of pushed me on to pool swimming. Where my mum and dad also are pool swimmers, and dad was a Welsh swimming champion. He taught himself how to swim out of a library book in Wales when he was 12.
Wow.
So that's a pretty cool story. So me and my sisters, I remember begging my sisters to come swimming training with me so I could come more times a week. So mum and dad, were getting up early for 2 or 3 of us, not just me.
Yeah.
They came kicking and screaming, and I was always begging them and dragging them to come.
So you were the most focused out of
I just loved it. I just loved the challenge and pushing myself and pleasing my coach, and but they were the ones that actually succeeded and they were big national champions, Australian gold medals. Their rooms at home it's disgusting how many gold medals are around their bedrooms, but I didn't get any. I didn't get on the national teams or state teams or anything. Like, I was still up there, I still competed at nationals, but I just didn't have the talent that they did, I guess, even though I was training 10 times a week and everything. So it wasn't until I left school and started doing some open water swims, which there weren't many of back then.
Right.
There was the Bunbury one, the Rottnest swim through, and then I actually was, coming second or third, and I was like, oh, this is what I'm better at. This is what I can do, and
it all started to click.
Yeah, and it was really nice to get somewhere.
Yeah,
finally, and
finally.
Yeah, and I just enjoyed being in the ocean anyway. It was exciting. You didn't know what was going to be ahead of you. It wasn't just a black line going back and forth and back and forth.
Must have been like a huge amount of freedom when
totally.
you first started.
Yeah. And then, one thing led to another, and I'd done teams for the Rottnest swim for quite a few years, and then I was like, okay, I need to see what I can do now, and I need to do a solo, and that's when, things just lifted to the next level.
What year was that you did your first one?
2009.
Right.
So I started training in May the year before. Like, I don't think I've ever not swum. I've always swum. But that's when I ramped it up and actually trained, and focused on, okay, what do I need to do to get across there? Yeah.
Were you aware of what you could go and do at that point, or? No,
not at all. Not at all. The English Channel, there's no way that could have entered my mind. That was just way bigger than someone like me could do.
Why did you say someone like me?
Because I'm just like, as I said, just just an everyday person that couldn't make a state team kind of thing,
Yeah.
So taking on at that time, doing one solo crossing was my big ultimate goal, and I didn't really see anything beyond that. Like, let's see what happens. And of course I did it, and it was just awesome. I ran up the beach. I loved it. I partied all night at the pub, and I was like, I've got to do this again and see what else I can do. And so things have just kind of graduated every year from that.
Bit by bit by bit.
It's like, okay, I did that faster, I did that better. And then, the English Channel, after a few beers and red wines one night, okay, what needs to be done to do the English Channel?
Yeah. Was it almost like you unlocked the formula?
Yeah.
Now we can do this, now we can do that.
Yeah, and there was a bunch of us, 5 or 6 of us that were all kind of interested. So we started having little meetings and, looking into it and researching it, and then the next thing, it was booked, and so that the whole next stage of training started happening, and then after that, it was like, okay, well, what else is out there in the world? What other swims can we do? And I learned about the Triple Crown and the Manhattan Swim, which was, this big, amazing, prestigious event, and just to enter it was hours and hours of work and resumes, and to get chosen to get in. And that was an incredible experience with all our mates, and we decided we were on the Australian team to go to Manhattan, because we were travelling across, so we made our own bathers with the Australia flag on it, and had a fantastic time. We visited the Consular General over there, and went to baseball games, and they had our names up on big screen, big screen, and it was just really cool to be doing that kind of thing a bit later in life. Feeling.
How old were you when you were doing this?
It's about 26, 27, yeah. And then I remember getting on the plane, so that was in June, the Manhattan Swim. And then, I got really, really sick. I was sick for 3 months after that. I vomited so much I exploded a blood vessel in my eye because the water was so terrible.
Yeah.
But still, I was on such a high, and I said, Andy, there's this swim in Catalina, in America, and I'm so fit. I've done all this training. Do you reckon I can go back and do it? And so 3 months later, we turned back around and went to Catalina and did the third swim of the Triple Crown, just like that. But it was just kind of like a snowball effect. I was on a roll, and it's like, what next? Yeah. And
then to a triple crossing to Rottnest.
Oh yeah, so that was kind of got thrown in there as a bit of a training swim to Manhattan. And I remember Rowan Holick, who I trained with, he's a bit nuts. He'd done quite a few double crossings, which I hadn't done at that stage. He's like, someone needs to do a triple. Someone's going to do a triple. Who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? And then I just remember emailing back, yep, I'll do it.
All right.
And then he was like, are you serious? And then that started happening, and we got Andrew Forrest involved and Walk Free, so we were doing it for a reason, which made it even more exciting and more important. And God, that was the adventure of a lifetime, doing that, and the logistics involved and the unknowns, swimming in the darkness.
Yes.
Rottnest Channel in the dark.
Setting off at midnight.
It's like, okay, so if I survive the first lap, setting off at midnight, swimming through the darkness, if I survive, that'll be a pretty cool achievement. To then turn around and, we got the worst conditions. Like, we just had to go on that one weekend because the next weekend was Easter and, everyone was going away. We needed a huge support crew around us. So that was the day, and it was a 2 metre swell, southwester. It just was horrific, swimming into the darkness. You don't know where your hand's landing. Danning's totally rolled over. We got to the shore and I thought, I can't swim another stroke, let alone turn around and swim back again. I felt like I had 1,000 knives sticking to my back. And then we got to the beach and there was film crews there and all these people cheering us on and all these swimmers ready to swim back with us. I thought, bloody hell, I don't really have a choice here.
Get on with it.
Popped a few Nurofen and off we went. And, as the sun came up and I got a bit warm and the Nurofen hit, it got better and better. Yeah. And then once it hit Rotto again, I was like, okay, well, this is just making history. We're just going to keep swimming. And, coming in 19 hours later and my tongue and my throat was so swollen from the seawater that I couldn't eat or drink anything. And I was starting to get a bit delusional. It was getting dark and these white swans appeared. I was like, how cool is this? They've sent out white swans to greet us.
Especially.
Wicked. And then they kind of disappeared. So I was like, oh, okay. And the water had turned brown and I thought it was chocolate. So I opened my mouth to get some chocolate in.
You get a bit delirious.
So, got there and did all these interviews. Like, I've seen these interviews. I said, how the hell did I actually speak about modern day slavery and everything? Then I went up to the change rooms and had a shower and fainted and went to hospital because my sugar levels were at 2.
Yes.
They were so low that I could have gone into a coma. Learned so much and mentally just to realise, to swim for 19 hours and to push myself for that long, it's just like, I can do anything, just like, what next?
Does it get addictive?
Oh, totally. I'm totally addicted to it. I love doing this stuff now. Yeah.
I mean, all these swims that you've done, it kind of puts you in the 1% of the 1%, the swimming royalty. How does that sit with you?
People say that, but it just doesn't feel like me,
Why is that?
Because as I said, I'm just me. Like, I'm no one special. I'm just, I'm just a person that loves I'm loving and happy at what I'm doing and giving it a crack. And I'm no superhuman. Like, look at me. I don't have a swimmer's body. I don't have natural talent. So it's just, it could be anyone doing this. And I really don't think that I'm swimming royalty. I just think that's, I laugh a bit when I hear that. It's a bit embarrassing, I find.
A bit embarrassing. So, is there a drive behind it, what you do? Or is this just you channeling your essence and who you are?
I just love to see what I can do. And I love having adventures and hanging out with my friends and, having and banter and having fun and doing something different and crazy. Like, if you can do that in life, why not do it?
Yeah.
You only live once, YOLO, you only live once is what I always say, because I'm fully aware, you see people getting diseases and cancers and tragic things happening, and, I want to see what I can do before that happens to me.
Yeah.
And I want to make an impact on as many people and, help other people if I can through charities or raising awareness. And, now I've kind of built my business out of doing this, what I love. And so I feel like, well, I've got to keep doing these things. And it just makes me so happy. It just makes me so happy and positive and just keeps me going. And I think it makes me a better friend and a better mother and a better wife. Because swimming makes me happy every day. If I don't swim every day, I'm I get grumpy.
Grumpy.
Obviously I'm addicted to the endorphins that it gives me, and I just love seeing.
Is that part of you said, you want to impact as many people as possible. Is that part of the impact? Just do the things that make you happy?
Well, that's what seems to have happened. I do what makes me happy, what I love and what I get a kick out of, and people around me love that. and go and do their own version of crazy, whether that's just a 2K swim or signing up for a team, or their first stepping stone to where I started years ago. So it's cool.
If you look at what makes you a strong swimmer, whether it's physically or the way you swim, or mentally, emotionally, which one of those is the most important to you, or are they all in there and part of it?
I think it's all part of it. I mean, I only saw my stroke videoed a few weeks ago, underwater, and my physio said, "Oh yeah, you're really flexible, and that's why you're very flexible ankles and shoulders and stuff. So that obviously assists you."
Yeah.
But obviously, I've been swimming since I was about 7 years old, and I got trained by very good, Australian coaches, Matt Brown and Grant Stolwinder. So obviously, I got the technique drilled into me a long time ago.
Right.
But since then I've just realised that it's also what's in your heart and in your head, and just gritting your teeth, and and I've learnt to work on that and get better at that side of things, and kind of be tougher and stronger mentally inside. Each one of these swims, each one of these crossings has taught me a different thing about what goes on inside my head to make me better. So I think it's my technique as well as my mental ability.
Yeah.
As I said, I don't think I have a swimmer's body. I'm not tall and that V shape.
You're quite diddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You must have had days when it's like the voice in your head's going, "Oh, what the hell's going on?" or "Can't be asked to get up," or how do you get over that?
I never think I don't want to get up. I love getting up and going. That's my ideal morning, is getting up and going for a swim. I could, that would be my ideal start to every single day, as well as cuddling my little girls and my husband, of course. But I've definitely had, times when I'm swimming. I had one whole Rottnest swim where I vomited the whole way from start to finish. And I trained really hard with some, my squad, who were all very competitive with each other. And so I was just thinking, oh, I'm coming last. I'm going to go so slow. I'm going to do 8 hours. Like, this is embarrassing. I should get out. I'm useless. What am I doing this? The whole way I thought so negative. Vomited. I probably shouted at my poor husband the whole way, who was paddling kindly for me. It was such a negative experience for me. And I got to the end, and I still did exactly the same time as I did the year before, 5 hours 20 or something.
Yeah.
Came third female overall, exactly the same. And that was a real wake-up call for me. I was like, I could have just turned myself around in my head, gotten over myself, toughened up a bit, and give myself a talking to, and actually enjoyed that experience. Been grateful to my husband and my support crew for being there for me.
Yeah.
And probably would have had a nice or better day out, and maybe done better. But it was a real turning point for me.
Yeah.
It was a real slap in the face.
Drop.
Yeah. And so from now on, it's made me be, get those niggles out and those negative thoughts out, and be grateful for being out there and for the people that are giving their time to me and helping me, achieve what I've wanted to do.
So you say get them out, is it not listening to them, or just...
getting rid of them and going, okay, my shoulders are killing me or my back's killing me, but okay, well, what do I need to stop that? How do I change that? Think about my stroke, think about something else.
Right.
And don't worry, swim through it. Let's just get
Go
to the
back
next
into
food
a more
stop.
resourceful state.
Yeah, think about something, that's going to get me there rather than something that's going to make me stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
Yeah. Just turning those thoughts into something useful and positive, rather than, I want to get out, it's hurting, I'm coming last, I'm not doing very good, I should just quit now.
Listen to all that crap in your head.
Yeah.
One of the... So I've done one solo in my time, and one of the questions that many people ask me, I'm going to ask you, is, what do you think about while you're swimming? I know my answer.
Yeah. So I I've got so many amazing people in my life. My family is awesome and awesome friends. So I think about them a lot, and you know, what I've seen and talked to them about lately, or what, you know, I like to plan things. I'm an organizer and I like to plan things. So I just kind of spend my time, or what am I going to say at the next food stop to make people laugh or have a bit of a giggle, or, you know, a bit of banter. And that's what I think about is my everyday life, and my gorgeous kids who are just, you know, the craziest people I've ever met in my life, and what I'm going to see, what I'm going to do with them when I see them next, and what I'm going to do with them, and adventures we can go on. I just think about how cool my life is and how cool my friends and my family is, and it just literally makes me smile while I'm swimming. Yeah.
Tell me about your relationship with the ocean, because you know you trained in pools in the hills, and then move into the ocean, and then, you know, doing a midnight solo as part of the triple and stuff like that. Do you think about, you know, what's in it, how big it is, or if, you know, did that used to scare you? Have you now reconciled that? Do you push it away, or do you embrace it? Or
so like I definitely am aware that they're there, and I'm aware that the ocean can bring, you know, so many different factors. You know, whether it's the weather and the, you know, the winds and the currents and tides and stuff like that, whether it's stingers, like I hate stingers.
I don't think many people do like them.
Hate them, you know. But that's all part of it. They're there, and I'm in their habitat. Yeah. So I got to cop it, whatever's there. And, you know, I've kind of done my research on sharks, and I've been told by, you know, marine biologists what they, you know, what they're like and their temperaments. And, you know, I just kind of think they're not there for us. You know, they're not after us. They don't give a hoot about us. And, you know, I love this, being in this ocean so much. So whatever happens. And, you know, it could happen to me walking across the street. I could die getting hit by a car or whatever. So, and so I just kind of get it out of my head and not think about it, because you can think about it and think, oh, when am I going to get stung, or when am I going to get bitten, or when am I going to get hit by a boat? You know, you could worry about all of that and have an awful, horrible, negative experience. Or you can think about, how cool is this? Like I remember when I was swimming in the darkness at midnight, you know, I just thought, how cool is this? I'm in the middle of the ocean in the darkness, surrounded by my mates, flying fish are everywhere. I don't know what's ahead of me. How exciting and liberating, you know? And I just, you know, some people might think that's a crazy way to think, but I had the best time, you know? It was crazy, thrilling excitement. And that's just how I had to think the whole way. A good friend of mine swam at the same time, and he's a very established swimmer, comes from a swimming background, a family of swimmers, great swimmer, and he just went into shock after 10 minutes. You know, it obviously got to him in a different way, and he literally got into shock and said, I need to get out. And I said, you can't get out now because no one can see us, it's windy, they can't hear us, you've got to keep swimming to the next food stop. And he kept swimming for a bit, then the next thing he was pulling himself over a boat, because he was just like, get me out of here, you know. So I just had to keep my mind focused on the way I was thinking and feeling, because otherwise you just go into that terrifying fight or flight response, I guess.
And I found that the more time you spend in it, the more you delayer and delayer and delayer delayer any sort of fear that you might have of the unknown, which is the enormity of the ocean.
That's right.
I found the more and more I spent time in it, the more the layers dropped away, till I got to the point of curiosity about what I might see. Yeah. And what would it feel like to see things?
Exactly. I think about that all the time. I think, what if a shark came towards me? What would I do? Like, I'd actually just love to look at it, or try and touch it, or
strangely enough, I got to see a tiger shark on my solo, and I thought it was a gift because it went underneath, and I was like,
"That's so cool."
Yeah,
I'm jealous.
I chose not to tell anybody in my support crew until we got to the island. Yeah, well, at the 19K mark. Yeah, because I thought, I don't want them getting worried and pulling me out.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything felt very calm and safe, but Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So most of your big events have also been linked to charities. Why so?
I think, a lot of people think of doing a solo and being a swimmer is almost a selfish sport, and it is. Cause
Well, it is on one level.
And so I thought, well, if I'm doing this and if it's going to get attention anyway, and if it's going to, if I can give back and help someone by, kind of handballing my attention to something else,
Yes.
then, I'm all for it. So the English channel was for Breast Cancer Care WA, because my husband's cousin Pip who's my age, was going through fighting breast cancer at the time.
Right.
So I wanted to do it in her honour, and she was able to watch me do, watch on the little dot on the screen, watch me do the English channel before she passed away. But at least we got to raise, I think our group raised $70,000 for Breast Cancer Care WA. So at least something, good out of that swim came out of it. The triple was for modern day slavery, Walk Free, which was Andrew Forrest's campaign that was just being launched. It was, literally that kind of set it off the ground and got a bit of media and awareness and talk about that. And it also makes me think, when I'm having those dark moments, oh, come on, at least, you're not fighting breast cancer, or at least you're not, a slave trapped against their will. Here I am doing something amazing for myself, and I'm fit and I'm healthy and I'm lucky. So, it does help me in a positive way with my swimming as well. Yeah.
It's interesting, you talk about other people and it being a selfish endeavour. How are you with asking for help? Because I found that, you can go and run a marathon and all you need is your trainers and you can take yourself off.
That's right.
Right? You can go and do a triathlon and pretty much do the same. Just stick your bike in the car and your
That's
wetsuit,
right.
and you turn up and you do the event. You want to go and swim to Rottnest, or you want to go and swim, you have to ask so many people for help.
Exactly.
And I got quite overwhelmed at the end of it when I realised just what everyone had done for me.
Yeah.
How have you gone with asking for help?
Yeah, exactly. It's awful. And, what they give to you, you literally can't do it without their support. You cannot do it. You can't just go and swim by yourself. So, as I said to you before, my mum and my dad and my sisters and my husband just, they just do it.
Yeah.
No brainer, they would just do it. And I would do anything back for them as well. And I think I love helping people, and I would drop anything, bend over backwards for anyone to help anyone in whatever they needed. And so I think maybe that's why people do, I thank people in other ways and give back to them. So, I feel like they're helping me, but I do a lot to help them back as well. And and I try and make it an adventure for them as well, and make them feel a part of it, and because you couldn't do it without them. So just being thankful and grateful, and I think I added up, I've done it 27 times in total. That's with teams as well and duos as well, and so my skipper Rod, who I ask every year, and he always comes back, and I've just purchased him another jacket. He's probably got a wardrobe of jackets, but I'm so grateful for the help, and but it is hard, but I just make the effort to thank them back as well.
So coming out of your swimming and into everybody else's, you've now set up the Port to Pub.
Yeah.
So why? We already have one established
and it's an amazing event. And
for
me, for years and years, that was my Christmas day. I loved it. And my
Christmas
family,
day.
It seriously was. And I think a lot of swimmers would feel the same way about it.
Oh,
and just the excitement and everything. It's an amazing event, amazing history. And, I had a little squad starting up and training people all year round, wanting to do it. And then it's got so popular that people was missing out. And, I was missing out, my swimmers were missing out. And, the devastation that feels when you don't get in. It's like, what? I can't be a part of it. You know, I'm missing Christmas. You know, and you know, I'm in the Hall of Fame of the Rottnest Channel swim now, and you know, it's not, they don't take favourites, you know, which is a good thing. I think it's a really good thing that, you know, people are like, oh, if you've won the Rotto swim, you should get automatic entry, or if you're, you know, I've done it every year since the start, I should get automatic entry. But, you know, then other people that want to give it a go can never get in. So, you know, they're a victim of their own success, and I think they need to make it fair across the board.
Yeah.
But there's a limit to how many people can do it. So I remember standing at the pool at Claremont Pool, and someone said, someone's got to start another event. Like, we need another option, and you should do that, Kiney. Right. Okay. So I kind of started talking about it with my husband, and, you know, I remember getting a group of people and advice and help and looking into it, and just to get applications in, we had to put our whole event together. We had to have rules and maps and risk management and you know, so talk about asking for help. Like, we were just pulling on so many strings and drawing for help, and so you know, it was a small core team, but we have a lot of friends and advice around us helping. And then we put it in, we got rejected. So it was like a year's worth of work.
Oh, really?
And it got rejected. So you have to get approval from the Department of Transport, the Fremantle Port, you know, and various other stakeholders. And it was the port that I think they were just like, no way, we're not, you know, we're not, you know, compromising our channel for another swim.
Yeah.
So we went to Colin Barnett and kind of, you know, told him about it and the effects on the community and tourism, and, you know, and he was all for it, so he made it happen.
Oh, right.
He kind of overrid it and got it. So then all of a sudden, I think that was kind of, you know, that was, it didn't give us very long to actually, okay, we're doing this, you know, get a marketing team together and websites and open entries and, you know, all these things. I did not realise how much went into running an event until we started doing it.
For the listener at the moment, Ceinwen's sitting here with her head in her hands, looking like very, you know, your whole demeanour is different to when we were talking about swimming a minute ago.
Yeah.
Go on, carry on.
Yeah. So it was full on, and, you know, at the time, Andy and I were, you know, trying to buy a house and renovating, and we had a baby on the way, and so did Jane Monday. She was pregnant, and, you know, all of the committee, we were at a very stressful time of our life trying to do this. Yeah. So it was working to midnight every night, all weekends. It was so much work that went into it. But you know, we got 600 people in that first year, and we pulled it off. And yeah, a lot of work, but a lot of amazing feedback, and that feeling that you know, so many people had helped to make that happen, and I think so many people had that sense of pride of making that community event happen and seeing people cross the line. And yeah, it was a real achievement, not just for us and our committee, but for the community and for the swimmers, and to go, okay, there's another option, and it's all right. Like, it went well.
How do you make it a point of difference?
Well, that's the thing as well. We didn't want to just copy and paste. We you know, we wanted to have a point of difference. So starting in Fremantle, which, you know, that's when where the very first Rottnest Channel swim started. So we're kind of bringing it back to their roots. Having that 25-kilometre ultra marathon was a point of difference, and we kind of thought that's really going to put Perth on the map worldwide. Yes. And you know, everyone's always looking for another challenge, for the next step up, and so many people have done the solo now. Yep. That you know, I really think that is the 25K is going to take off, and we are getting more and more people from around the world doing it, and so that was a big point of difference. And figuring out the course, you know, okay, how do we make this 25K? Do we make them do an extra 5K at the other end? Yes. But I just know as a swimmer, getting to the other end, seeing that island, being that close, smelling the bakery, you don't want to swim another 5Ks when you get there. So that's why we have it to start with, and then you follow the normal route across. So
and also having the team of 6 as well makes it.
Doing the team of 6, well, there was you know, just kind of knowing our friends and knowing so many people would love to be a part of it, but maybe a team of 4, they just don't have time to train that much, or beginners who really want to do it, but can't quite make the distance, or too nervous and too scared of everything else that's involved in an ocean swim. So just giving them the stepping stone to try it and give it a go. And then we thought we'd introduce wetsuits, because so many, one of the biggest reason people pull out is because of hypothermia, and some people could never do it because they just get so cold. And if you've got cold before, it's a really horrible, uncomfortable feeling.
It's not fun.
So we incorporated an assisted category. Obviously that's not on the same pedestal as solos doing a solo, and they don't get recognised, but at least they can say that they've given it a crack and done it. So just a few little points of difference. And then also being a swimmer and having done it myself, okay, what would I really love at the finish line? I'm standing in the sun, I don't know where the hell my support crew are, I'm in my bathers, getting burnt,
Yep.
I want a drink, I want some fruit, I want a towel, I want a hat, I want to have a shower. So we put all of that at the finish line. We've got fresh warm showers at the end, and we've got a recovery tent where you can sit down, you can have a hot Milo or some muffins, have Suvi Sports massaging, you get a towel straight away. And so many women actually emailed after that. You said you could see a woman, there was a woman's touch in that, because, being self-conscious in your bathers at the end, getting photographs, just to be able to wrap a towel around you.
Yes.
Just made you feel more comfortable and welcomed. And, we had this gorgeous DJ Dave, who's a swimmer himself, and we'd ask swimmers for requests of what song do you want to come in over the line? What's going to make you feel like a hero coming through the line? So we had that organised. So just these little 1%ers really made a difference to people as they came through. And, we got that feedback and people really liked that. And so we've worked hard to, listen to people and what they want, and, be really professional and classy and thorough and safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's do you have a future vision for it, or is it where you want it to be at the moment?
It's really, we're sponsored by Channel 7. Yeah. Like our little event, our little idea that we had, it's now sponsored by these big, amazing...
In what, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, so this is our 5th year, and so we've just ticked over 1,200 people registered. So that's our max that we've ever had.
Yep.
We're still open for a few more weeks. So, we want to, that feeling at the pub, and you're there and you're celebrating with your mates and with your support crew and with those people that you've trained for. That's the Christmas for me. That's what I love, is being there with everyone that's sunburnt and, exhausted and, happy and hugging each other. That's the feeling that I love at the pub, and that's what we want to keep.
Yes.
So we're going to keep it so that it's manageable and safe, and we keep that experience at the end.
Local and friendly.
That's right. Yeah.
How do you balance this swimming and the Positive Swim Squad with family life?
Yeah, it's a real juggle. It's a real struggle. And I think any couple with young kids, life's a juggle, and it's hard. And it's, Andy and I both work early. We've got a Positive Lifestyle Training as mobile fitness training. So he's up early every morning training people, and I'm up early going off to the swim squad every morning. So luckily we get the help of a au pair.
Yep.
To help the girls when they get up, and then I come home, hang out with the girls, and get them off to school. But it's constantly juggling babysitters and help and support. We've got beautiful families. Both of the grandparents love to help out as well, so they're kind of on call, and we've got an awesome community village around us helping us.
Yes. And
for me, my swimming is my therapy as well. So that's what settles me down, and I can organise my head through my swimming, and that's my downtime. And sometimes I go down to the beach at 4:30 in the morning or at 7:30 at night to get my swimming in. When the girls are asleep, it's a good time for me to train, or I jump in before and after my squads. But it definitely has grown and exploded, and we've just needed to manage it as we go and do what we can to survive. But yeah, it does get a bit out of hand at the moment. We've got to find ways to pull it back, and have little times to ourselves and Sunday mornings to ourselves, and as a family, because I realise it's such a precious time when they're, Darcy's 4 and Genevieve's 2 now. So
yeah,
I don't want to miss it. I don't want to be working and giving my time and to everyone else. They're beautiful little girls, and I, want to give them a good, healthy upbringing as well. Yeah.
So it's quite a juggle.
It is. It's really very hard, and I don't know if it's going to get easier. We'll see. But I'm just floating above the water at the moment. Floating. I think. Yeah.
Are there times when that becomes more challenging than going on a triple crossing?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So last year, Bryn, I did 5 crossings, solo crossings, and one of them in particular at the beginning was literally a mental health day. Like literally, I just needed to get away from everyone and get away from everything and just have peace and quiet in my head. I just needed to get off my phone, and it was a mental health day for me. And
so your mental health day was
swimming to Rottnest.
Swimming to Rottnest.
Yep.
Was that with John?
Yep. That was with John. One of the crossings, I was literally only supposed to support.
Yes.
I was only meant to be. I was swimming out. I'd done my squat in the morning, zoomed down to the beach. I was just going to swim out to the boat and support the guys, and it was so beautiful. And Dean goes, "Oh, just stay in for another half an hour." And so I just kept on swimming, and I was loving it. And Wayne, who was on the boat, goes, "Carney, looks like you're swimming a Rotto." And I had a chuckle, and I swam another half hour. I had no feeding, nothing planned.
I heard all you had was a cup of coffee and a banana before you set off.
Yeah. But I was just like, oh, this is a bit crazy. All right, let's keep going. And I think because there was no pressure on me, I just kept going, and I did it, and it was mental. And poor, Dean, and I had all of his, feeds as well. I'd had to borrow some of his, but I just love it so much that literally that's my time by myself. Yeah.
And so it's not just everything else that we've talked about, it's also the mental health aspect.
Yep, definitely. Yep, that's my psychiatrist out there in the water, sorting things out and living life. And I realise it's not normal, I get told that a lot.
You say it's not normal, you're actually doing it. You're actually doing something. What is normal? Going and sitting in a room for 50 minutes talking to a complete stranger, and then do what afterwards?
Yeah.
I myself during the solo training found that the more time I was spending, the more things were just resolving themselves, because what else are you doing for 3 hours while you got a face down in the water?
That's right. Yeah, you sort out your problems, you've sort out your priorities, and
you just allow them to. I think I found I almost allowed them to sort themselves out rather than me mentally doing it.
Exactly. That's right. You've got so much time to just calmly process everything, and you come out finishing going, okay, I can handle life again.
Yeah. Or I know what to do here, and I know what to do here, and I know what to do there.
Yeah. And literally I'd get to Rottnest, have a quick beer and chips, head back, and go, right, I'm back into mum mode now.
Yeah, life
back
is good.
Into, let's clean the house, let's get the dinner on,
I'm fed and nourished on lots and lots of different levels.
Yeah. But I'm okay now, and I've done my thing. I've had my time, and now I can give back to everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually listening to a podcast the other day with Gabby Reese and Laird Hamilton, the big wave surfer. And Laird was talking about the interplay between, he can't just be selfish and go and chase big waves. Everything has to be settled and sorted in the house. But then because of that, everything, if he just did the settled and sorted in the house, then he would never be where he needs to be in his big wave surfing. And the two feed each other. He has to do one to be good at, to be present in the other. And he has to be present in one to be present in the other, and go round and round. And I'm getting the same thing from you
Absolutely.
Here. Yeah. And anything less means that, everybody doesn't get to enjoy 100% Ceinwen.
That's right. Yeah.
And that would be sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I love being able to give 100% of myself to everyone, and I can see people feed off that, and but if I don't look after myself,
so many people out there. I'm a little bit in, but I'm a little bit out at the same time, and I'm just a bit worried. I'm just a bit nervous because I don't know, and I might fail, or I might, So to be 100% in, is rare, but beautiful at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why you attract the people you do, like the networks you meet, the Andrew Forrests, but you also have, I speak to some of the people who are friends who are in your Positive Swim squad, they all say the same thing.
Yeah, it does, it's like attracts like, isn't it, and our squad is just full of, our normal in our little bubble, of doing crazy things. Yeah. You just get swept along in it, and it becomes normal, and it's an exciting place to be, crazy and exciting.
Crazy and exciting, but full of, open up to possibility and probability of things that you can do.
That's right. Yeah.
Awesome. So when you sent me your bio here, I read through all the great stuff, and then there's just this last line at the end about a 4-way swim to Rottnest, back to Cottesloe, to Rottnest, to Cottesloe, or whichever. Talk me through that one then.
So,
is it because it's not been done?
Pretty much. So, my last kind of good, crazy swim was around Rottnest. So when was that? Probably 2014.
What was that like? That must have been so cool. Beautiful.
So cool. Literally smile on my face. Well, I got stung the whole way around. 8 hours of getting stung, which wasn't that great, but everything was so amazing. We just got that one day of the year that you couldn't do it. It was like the calm before a storm. We were getting big fat raindrops. It was hot and humid and just oily flat, really, really calm, even around West End.
Right.
And
that must have been stunning.
So, it just all came together, and did that again with Wayne and Jeff Wilson, two of my friends that did the English Channel and all of those other swims with, and had a great group around us. And one of my friends, Dad's was at Westpac Helicopter, so we knew that they would come out and look out for us a bit. And just the sunrise that morning was incredible. When we started off swimming from Thompson's Bay around to the natural jetty, and to get around there where I'd never been before, and just the fish, and we had seals swimming around us. Literally, I thought my hand was going to bang into them. So playful, and stingrays, and you're just like, oh, what's going to be around this corner? What's over this rock? It was like swimming in a beautiful aquarium. It was just so cool. And just knowing Rottnest, having grown up around Rottnest and seeing, the landmarks and the beaches and the lighthouses as we went. And once we finally were getting back around, I was like, wicked, here's the basin, we're nearly home. And it was such a cool experience. As I said, along with that weather, because it was hot and calm, we got the stingers. But you're like, well, come on, you're pretty lucky with everything else we've got. So I think it was 28 kilometres, and we just had a lot of fun. We had a lot of support swimmers around us as well, and it was a really good crew. It was a really great adventure. So, but pretty much after that, I was pregnant, and started that next challenge in life, which, like sometimes I literally think that swimming a solo is much easier than being a mum. Like, it's hard. It's hard work. So anyway, so that's kind of the last crazy swim, and I've just dabbled with it. I've done duos with Andy in the Rotto swims the last few years, and as I said, last year just kind of did a few more solos, and that amazing woman Sarah Thomas did a 4-way English Channel crossing, and that just blew my mind. I just thought that, and because she'd gone through chemo the year before.
Yes.
And I honestly thought, I don't know if this is actually humanly possible. Like, can someone do this? And she did it. And I don't know, I just got that fire in my belly. I just got that feeling back again. Yeah. And, started talking to a few friends about it, and definitely would be possible if you got, because the triple we didn't get great weather at all.
No.
Any leg of it was good, So, we thought we got good conditions, and
Just looking at about what, 24 hours of swimming?
yeah, it would be 24, 26 hours if everything goes well. And, so kind of was doing these solos every few weeks, like once every 3 or 4 weeks we'd do one. So Dean Kearns is one of my swimmers who, just got a great attitude to life and very positive and very, infectious to be around. And he's got a boat, which is very handy when you need to do a solo. So he would say, the weather's looking good, shall we go for it? We'd get our forms in and just go for it. And kind of doing them, I was thinking, all right, we're getting fit enough to do this. I reckon we can do it. So we put our forms in and started talking to people, and it's actually going to happen now. So we've got a 3-week window at the end of March. So we're literally going to wait for the conditions to be ideal for it. And it's really exciting just having that something to focus on again and train for again and feeling fit again. Like I'm just really feeling so happy to have that drive. And once again, I know it's a lot on my family, so I'm trying not to invade too much on their life. And with Port to Pub coming up as well, that's taking up a lot of time. So got a lot on my plate, but I'm, it's all in the air and I'm juggling it.
What does training look like for you then, roughly?
Well, because I don't have a big chunk of hours in the day, I'll get there a bit early before my squad at 5:30 and do maybe 2 or 3 Ks. Then I'll jump in and, do another half an hour after my squad, and then I'll go back down. Now we've got the shark net down at Cottesloe.
Yeah.
You can comfortably train down in the ocean at night, which is we're going to need to train for anyway, swimming in the darkness, because 12 hours of it's going to be in the dark.
Yeah.
This friend of mine, Dean Kearns, he's just got a really, I think we're very similar pace. We can swim forever at that same comfortable, where you get into that zen, not really thinking about how fast we're going, and we know that we need to stay at that. We can't get excited and get competitive and go fast. To make it, we're going to just have to go slow and steady.
Yep.
And also Wayne Morris, who's done all these other swims, he's dead keen on doing it as well. And now we've got John Curtis, who's going to kind of see how he goes. Maybe he'll do a double, maybe a triple. He's just going to be a buddy swimmer for Wayne because they can swim at a good pace.
Yep.
And then Dean and I, so we'll both have our own, flotillas around us and shark shields and paddlers and crews around us.
Another great day out adventuring, isn't it?
So, it scares the hell out of me. Like it's crazy.
What is? But how does the scariness turn up for you?
Maybe it's because I'm a mum now, and I'm like, is this stupid? What is something going to happen to me? And that play. I think that's because people are asking me that a lot, so it does start to play on my mind. But I'm just putting everything in place to make it as safe as possible, and give ourselves the highest chance of it being a safe and successful crossing. My sister Sian is a doctor, and she's putting a bunch of research students around us, which is so exciting for open water swimming as well. So this is going to be the first stage of it, but hopefully down the track we'll do testing on my solo swimming squad and English Channel swimmers, and get more investigation and research into core temperatures and blood tests and body fat and nutrition and training and all of that kind of stuff. So that's really reassuring to me that I'm going to be getting my core temperature monitored, my blood sugar levels monitored. We're going to go at perfect conditions. We've got shark shields all around us, not just on the kayaks, but on the boats, these bigger, stronger ones that Shark Shield have now come out with.
Okay.
To cover us in the dark. We've got doctors on board. Our skippers, both Rod and Johnsy, who will be Dean's skipper, are really, confident and professional, and they just know what they're doing. They know us. They're going to look after us. and we're just going to have fun. Like we're getting a crew around us that's going to keep us laughing and keep, make this an adventure.
Yeah.
And all I've got to do is do what I love for 24 hours
Swim.
at a nice, easy pace, and just, see what happens and have some fun out there. And I figure being a mum in those first few years, I have had 2 weeks of not sleeping with, poor little sick children screaming all night. Like, it's hell.
Yeah.
So if I can do that and then still have to get up and work and function and look after kids, I figure I can stay awake for 24 hours having an amazing adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the outlook on it.
So, and we're doing it to raise, I know it's already a thing, but to raise more awareness on plastics in the ocean. We're so lucky to have our beautiful ocean.
Yes.
But you go somewhere like Bali, I don't know if you've been there recently, and it's so depressing, running down the beach over all this rubbish and plastic. And, I honestly think in a few years' time, you're not going to be able to go to Bali anymore because my girls aren't going to be able to go to some places or swim in some places because it's so dirty. And we've got an opportunity now to do something about it. And none of us can be perfect. Plastics are around us, they're in our life. But if we can make little changes, every one of us make little changes, it's going to make a worldwide difference. And so people might laugh at this, but so when you're swimming a solo, usually you use a lot of plastic bottles, plastic pop-top juice bottles, for example. And so in one crossing, you might use 20 of those pop-top bottles.
Yeah.
Along with any other Glad Ziploc bags and stuff like that. So that's just me, right, doing one crossing. So doing 4 of those, that's going to build up to a lot of plastic bottles. Now in the Rottnest Channel swim this year, there's 500 soloists.
Yes.
So 500 people times all of those bottles is huge.
Shit ton.
Okay, so what we're going to try and do with these crossings is we're coming up with ways of how we can reduce that. So we're going to have some big, the big drink containers with the, you press the button.
The tap.
That's what it's called.
That's the word.
Into a little flask, like these little,
Yep.
like a Yeti tumbler that'll keep it cold. It's got a magnetic little lock on it so the salt water can't get in. So they'll throw it to us, we'll drink it down, throw it back, and they just need to refill it every time.
Refill, yeah.
So, it's going to be a little bit harder logistically for the support crew, but...
Give them something to do, won't it?
Yeah, exactly. What else are they doing? But, and I just think if people can apply that to everyday life and make small little changes, it's going to make a big worldwide difference. So we're doing it for the hashtag no plastic waste.
Yep.
And we'll just see where that goes and see, if people in this Roto Swim or in the Port to Pub for years to come can make those changes and change the way that people think, it'll make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Far out. Where do you think Western Australia would be if more people got in the ocean more?
Oh, I think we'd have a lot happier community, a lot less mental health problems, a lot less depression, fitter people, living longer and not getting as sick. I honestly think, I don't know if it's a myth, but I think being in the salt water cures a lot of sicknesses. I swim all through the winter in the cold, and I think that helps you fight off colds and germs. I don't know if it kills the bugs or if it's a mental thing, but I feel it makes your immune system stronger.
Yes.
So if everyone was, and I love seeing those legends in the middle of the night, they're in their, not early morning, they're kind of in their 70s, 80s, 90s. Every morning that's been their routine for their whole life, dipping in the ocean, having a little splash and a swim and a coffee. If everyone did that, I think we would just be such a happy state, a happy community. Yeah, it brings people together,
It does.
And that's just the cause of loneliness and not having that endorphin rush is just the cause of so much depression, loneliness and anxieties and stuff like that. So I think
as well as being in something bigger than yourself.
Exactly, big, and it's Mother Nature, and it's who knows what every morning's gonna bring, and the beauty it brings. The morning, swimming alongside those Norfolk pines and seeing the sun rise, and then you look on the other side and the moon's there. It's just like, how good's life? Why would I want to be in bed right now? You know? Yeah.
Far out. What have you learnt about yourself on all this journey?
I've just learnt how to be a better person by being positive, and by giving to people makes you better, makes you positive, and makes you stronger. Giving to people, you know, it comes back to you tenfold. And just the way that you think about things and take on things in life, you know, from what I've done with my swimming, it's just transferred over into life and into business and into relationships and stuff like that. You know, working through problems and pushing through things, and you do come out the other end, you know.
Yeah.
You finish an event, you finish in a race, you wake up the next day, it's another new day, you know, that's going to hold new adventures or new problems or new, you know, dilemmas. Who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You get through it, it finishes, and you can start again. Yeah, so it's really, you know, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm a Wonder Woman and I'm perfect, but I'm still learning a lot about myself and about other people. And I'm just so lucky to be around other people in my life that are got the same attitude and, you know, helping me through.
But you're doing it.
Yeah.
What does the next sort of 3 or 4 years look like for you?
I don't know.
Another crazy adventure which you can't even fathom at the moment.
I've got this amazing group of swimmers who they've got their own goals, so I'm helping them through that. And
that must be rewarding.
Oh, it's wicked. It's the best feeling ever. You know, I had 2 swimmers last year do the Catalina crossing, and being there with them and their families and teaching their families like how amazing their son is or their husband is, and, you know, this is what they're doing, and, you know, it's just the coolest thing. And having the honour of swimming in with them to the finish and seeing them achieve it, it's just, you know, the best feeling ever. Yeah, it makes everything, I invest a lot of time and heartache and, you know, I get emotional about them and worry about them a lot, but it makes it all worthwhile. So, you know, my goal is helping them. My goal is, you know, port to pub and seeing that grow. And but, you know, my number one is my family and looking after them, and I'm learning as I go. There's no guidebook on, you know, how to, you know, I'm sure as they get older, the problems are just going to be different. So that's a whole new challenge, and I just want to be, you know, I've got the best mum and dad I could have ever asked for. They couldn't have done anything better. So I want to be like that for my girls, and my husband, you know, he's solid as a rock and puts up with so much from me. Like, I'm a bit headstrong and,
really?
You know, and a lot of people want my time, and, you know, I've got to, you know, he's just amazing. So I've got to make sure I look after him and my girls, and
they keep you quite grounded then.
Yeah, totally. I've got to pull myself back to them. That's the most important thing. Yeah.
The last question I ask all my guests is, if you could take a little nugget of knowledge, you know, Ceinwen's nugget, and upload it into the collective consciousness so everyone just gets it, what would it be?
I think be kind to people, give to people, and you'll get it. It'll come back to you. It makes you feel good, and it'll come back to you. So give to others and be good to others and show kindness to others. Yeah.
Ceinwen, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you. You
it's
too.
It's been great fun. If so you're taking entries all the way up to the last day, or?
Yeah, so Rottnest Channel swims this Saturday, and we stay open for 1 week after. So we close on the 2nd of March. So there's still time to get entries in.
Still time to get entries.
Yeah.
And if people want to come and find you, where do they find you?
Do you mean physically?
Well, if you know, I want to go.
My address.
No, I'm not going to give them your address. No. Unless you want to, it's a bit weird. As in, if someone's sitting there and listening to this and goes, I want to go and swim at Ceinwen.
Oh, cool. So positive lifestyle training. So that's our business, and, you know, Positive Swim Squad is a branch of that, and all of my times and squad and what I offer is all on there, and we go all year through, and give me a call.
Super stuff. Thank you
Great.
so much.
Thank you, Bryn.
Cheers.